Alright, the maintenance instruction 1206. Electric Motor Division, General Motors Corporation, LaGrange, Illinois, USA. Standing equipment by Graham, White, and Brewster. General, the following maintenance instruction cover the complete standing equipment to be used with the switcher passenger freight locomotive description. Operation maintenance of the following units include the operating valve, sand traps, aggregator, tube, automatic E-valve. The operation valve used in passenger locomotives and single acting valve is incorporated with the automatic brake valve. To operate with the handle, automatic brake valve is pressed downward, in which turn pressed with the bell ring with the opens valve, permitting air under the full main reservoir pressure to pass through the valve down to the piston side of the automatic E-valve. Signal acting operating valve is there for standing and forward movement only. Figure 1. The operation valve used with the freight locomotive is a single acting manually. Figure 1 shows the automatic brake valve. This is supposed to cancel all previous additions and maintenance instruction 1206 revision A. Figure 1 is the automatic brake valve. It's got a bell ring. Alright, operated valve located on the wall of the cab's right engineer seat with the operating valve handle with a pull backward intake valve that moves down with a permitting under the flow of the main reservoir pressure to pass through the valve down to the piston side with the automatic E-valve. Single acting valve is for standing and forward movement only. Figure 2. The operating valve used is 600 to 1100 horsepower, 600 to 100 horsepower, 600 to 1000 horsepower switcher locomotive is double acting valve located on the wall. Alright, show the thumb knob, handle, plunger, packing, nut, felt packing, piston, valve guide, standing air, intake valve, valve spring air inlet, spring cap. Figure 2 shows freight operating valve. So once again, that's plunger, packing nut, felt packing, piston, valve guide, standing air, air inlet, intake valve, valve spring. Over the cab of the right of the engineer seat with a double acting valve is for the standing of the bowl forward and reverse movement. The operating valve handle is pushed forward with the standing and the forward movement, the pull backward and standing, and the reverse movement. The piston and the intake valve moves downward that permits the air and under the full main reservoir pressure to pass by intake valve and out with the clean air and standing air outlet. 1 sand operating valve operates 8 sand traps, 4 traps for forward movements, and 4 traps for reverse movement. Figure 3. As the valve passes close to the standing position where the latches pass through the cleaning position, allows for full reservoir air pressure to flow over the moment through the cleaning port with the traps cleaning with the sand delivery to the pipes, sand pipe of the traps, and automatically clean with a monetary high pressure of the air before and after each sanding operation. This entirely automatic requires no effort on the part of the engineer. Ensures sanding under all conditions of the rail or weather. Lever handles should never be held in cleaning position left the pipes are badly clogged and then for a few seconds only. Normal sanding occurs until such of the time of the operating valve placed into its off position with the operating valve is done and exposed with the atmosphere chart with the air of 1/4 inch automatically lining and cylinder top of the actuating piston of the bled through the surface orifice. If it takes approximately 5 seconds for the air to bleed through the orifice, should the engineering pump operating valve, the delay with the controlled sanding would not produce the variancy in sand delivery to the rail. Excessive cleaning air cannot be combined with normal sanding air that prevents the waste of sand and air. Alright, figure 3 shows the switcher operating valve, thumb knob, handle, plunger, standing air, spring cap, air supply, packing nut, packing ring, piston, cleaning air, intake valve. The following information pertaining to the Graham White sand traps I have with the Brewster sand traps are similar to the design do not have the aggregator tube, but in the housing all of the air of the passes into the cleaning out port leave through the sand pipe delivery tube. The sand traps are located beneath the car body underframe mounted in the front wheels to be sanded. All sand traps are gravity fed. When the operating lever in the cab is moved with the sanding position, main reservoir air engine for the operating valve located in the cab of the locomotive main reservoir air actuates automatic E-valve, passenger and freight only, then enters the sand traps where the sand is delivered to the rails. Note, switching locomotives does not incorporate automatic E-valve, but have similar units of the operating valve explained above with the switching locomotives. Alright, shows the aggregated tube, the air delivery jets, cleaning air outlet, sanding outlet, ball check valve, discharge nozzle. It's Graham White Type E horizontal sand trap. Aggregated tube, air drive delivery vents, aggregated tube, air delivery jets, cleaning air inlet, discharge nozzle, ball check sand outlet. And that one's a vertical sand trap. Sand supply, sand outlet, sanding air inlet, nozzle jet, jam nut, discharge nozzle. Figure 6 is Type B horizontal sand trap, delivery Graham White. Type E sand trap has a flange fitting on the bolting directly with the underside of the sandbox with a vertical sand delivery leg with taped for a 1 1/4 inch pipe. The Type B sand trap has waterproof the union fitting of the sand supply pipe connection and horizontal sand delivery and tapped for a 1 1/4 inch delivery pipe. Difference between Type E and Type B sand traps are mounting flanges and the length of the aggregated tube. Air pressure of the main reserve enter through the sand outlet, discharge nozzle bellows for the sand remaining trap through the sanding pipe to the rail, but it's not necessary to disconnect the quarter inch half human the sanding air supply line in order to trap the clear nozzle. Making sand volume adjustment. The square head brass plug may be removed for a cleaning and adjustment with the sleeve of the control sound volume figure 4. There are 2 types of nozzle that can be furnished with a Graham White sander with a ball check and spiral nozzle. The nozzle lies in sand, thus inserting positive flow on sand under all conditions. Traps are designed to move sand horizontally with all air blast parallel to the wall of the traps and pipe. This prevents sand blasting with the traps and pipe. Spiral baffle nozzle adds in the turbulence of the sand air in the trap, which ensure the positive accurate sand. So sand supply, sand air inlet, nozzle adjustment, cleaning air, and discharge sand. 7-8 is the Brewster horizontal sand trap delivery. Delivery under varying sand conditions eliminates tunneling action with a needle pass when the sand is damp and crusted. This allows the adjustment of the sander nozzle minimum sand flow without fear of having irregularity sand flow under the bad sand conditions. The turbulence created within the trap by this spring baffle nozzle also makes possible the use of fixed air orifice of a minimum size in the trap to meet all conditions. The nozzle jet in the trap protect with the stoppage of the air intake side of the air filter, which stop the pipe scale with the other form bodies reaching 5/64 of an inch port on-side with the torque. On-side with the torque of the sand trap, the spiral baffle and the nozzle prevents further the reaching of the port. However, the jet is so designed with a cross drill with the port that extends outside of the body with the nozzle, making it possible to clean these restricted ports without necessity of removing the jet from the nozzle or removing the nozzle from the trap. An aggregator tube is installed within the sanders, ensuring the breaking up of the cake. Wet sand. Sand varies with the weight depending on the weather condition. In hot, dry weather, sand is light and easily moved. In wet weather, sand absorbs the moisture, which makes it heavy to discover the baking crust of the traps and prevent sand flow. The aggregator tube is only active during the cleaning operation. Air enters the 1/4 inch pipe of the cleaning air inlet, passes down the blows. Wet sand remains in the trap to the rails air. Air also enters in the drill passage of the clean air inlet up to the aggregator tube. The outside of the delivery jets breaking up any cake or dry sand. The aggregator tube screws into the body of the sand trap and fits in the sandbox figure 5. The automatic E-valve actuated air control operating valve of the cab locomotive. When the operating valve is placed in the sand position, the 1/4 inch actuating line from the operating valve of the control valve is charged on the reserve air with the original charge of the air is all. It is necessary to actuate the control valve for 1 complete sanding cycle. There is no consumption of the air in the operation control valve. Show the rubber cup actuating air piston, clean air valve, sanding air, 5/64 inch valve guide, air inlet, spring cap and valve spring. Automatic E-valve. When the charge of the reservoir enters the control valve of the actuating air into the piston trouble at its bottom seat, During the travel, the two actions occur. 1. Intake valve is forced off of the seat and admits the reservoir air through the air inlet. 2. A monetary blast of clean air rushes through the cleaning cleaning out port during the travel of the actuating piston. So seats itself also remove the air sanding outlet when the actuating piston reaches its spot of the seat held thereby a charge for the air from the operating valve. Therefore, only sand is emitting through the trap through the sanding outlet port. After the actuating air is exhausted, the orifice of the operating valve, the two actions of air occur, and 1. The actuating piston force of the piston positive the sheet by the spring-fed air pressure at the main reservoir air inlet, allowing another monetary clean-out blast through clean-out port number 2. The intake valve seat itself with the shutting off of the air supply at the sanding outlet with the clean-out port. Therefore, there is a monetary clean-out blast beginning at the end of the sand cycle of the action cleaning the sand delivery pipes and prevents clogging. Maintenance. Before each trip, check all sanding equipment proper operation. Sand pipes should be securely fastened and placed to delivery the sand on the rails in the front of the wheel. Contact check operating valve of the sand. Deliver clean air blast. Check with the breakthrough in the pipes. Keep all joints in union waters watertight. Adjust sand flow. Sand nozzle directly move the amount of the sand lying ahead of the nozzle tube. With the nozzle adjusted with the tube move the closer to the face of the sand cone, reducing the sand flow. If the nozzle is backed out, with the tube move deeper into the sand cone. Increase the sand flow. The adjustment positive regardless of the condition of the sand. Sand traps. Maintenance for the various traps are very similar with every respect. The exemption of the aggregator tube with the gram weight. The aggregator tube should be inspected periodically. Removal of sand trap aggregator tube. Be sure the sandbox is free of sand. Disconnect air lines from the sand trap. And remove the trap carefully not to bend the aggregated tube. Screw tube with the body of the trap. The delivered jets may be cleaned out with a small piece of wire. Inspect the sand trip completely for any breakthrough. Remove the sander nozzle inspection, cleaning, and replace. Note if any reason for the ball of the spring removed from the nozzle, be sure the ball is put back first for the small end of the spring is installed with next to the ball. 8. Replace all parts after the carefully inspection. Be sure for the check all points in sand contact metal for break-in pipes. Type E, automatic control valve. Automatic valve should not be dismantled unless it becomes inoperative. Failure for the operate properly should be indicated either by a constant blow of air of clean blasting during the entire sanding operation. Failure to deliver sanding of the air to the traps. Either case, the removal of the cap sleeve with the cleaning of the cylinder composition cut through at the bottom outer edge of the large actuating cylinder. Therefore, there is a 5/64 inch port for the atmosphere. This is backside of the valve above the bracket. Be certain that this port is always open. A small wire or pin may be used to punch this port open from the outside. The following tests can be made. Air is applied through the air inlet through the actuating airport. Actuating piston should work freely. There should be no excessive blow. 5/64 inch port of the atmosphere. Monetary blast should occur with the cleaning airport. A continual stream of air should flow for the sanding airport. The actual piston sticks indicate an excessive blow at 5/64 inch port with continual blow of the cleaning airport. Remove the cap of the cup washer actuating piston. Clean pipes thoroughly. Include cylinder check with the cup washer leaky, worn, replaced. If there are continual blow of the cleaning port, seat may be worn. Need to ground. Reassemble the placing actuating piston in front. First, cup washer flat face against the top actuating piston. Tighten cap. 2. Apply air to the air inlet out only. There should be no evidence of the air at the cleaning of the airport sanding airport. There is evidence of the air at these outlets. The intake valve is leaking to its seat. Remove the cap from the spring intake valve. Clean thoroughly. Dress and replace seat on intake valve. Check proper tension of the spring. Resemble the tighten the cap. Note the cap and the spring intake valve of the automatic E valve, gram white, are fully interchangeable with the parts on the operating valve for all electric motor division locomotives. Testing operator valves on bench. 1. Apply air with a handle in closed position. Air blow through the port of an intake valve of leaking must ground with figure 3. Screw 1/4 inch pipe plug sanding outlet ports. Latch handle sanding position. Air out blow through the 1/2 inch clean out port. Clean out position piston. Clean out the piston leaky due to the improper fit with the insufficient lap of the piston. Testing operating valve and locomotive. Apply 1/4 inch pipe plug sanding outlet plugs valve of the blind gasket with a 1/4 inch union sanding air. Line the move of the handle sanding position. Inspect the sand pipes over the rail, and if any sand is maybe delivered for the air is coming through the pipe, it indicates the cleaning out of the blasting operating due to the leaky piston. Proper lap of the piston. Fitting oversized piston, spiral reamer guide must be fitting oversized with the piston operating valve in the order. The reamer may not be chattered when it crosses ports of the valve. Oversized with the piston furnished in the following size is 5/8 of an inch plus or minus 15,000 of an inch plus 5/8 of minus plus or minus plus 30,000 of an inch 5/8 of an inch plus 46,000 and then 5/8 of an inch plus 62,000. Remaining valve cylinders, always check with the underside of the reamer with the first cut through the rough end. When making a finished cut, do not take out more than 1/8,000 of an inch. This is in order to get a good smooth job. Be sure of the guide with the reamer with this, ensure with a straight round hole with a closing fitting piston. The reamer should be 1/1000 of an inch larger than the overside of the piston order. Note, do not under any circumstance lower the nozzle hole drill extra nozzle hole cut with the nozzle tube. Its nozzle should be clogged with a scale with a gum and air pipe. Gum from the air pipes. Disconnect the air pipe. Blow out the scale. Always clean the nozzle with a pin and wire. Types of gram white traps. Type E vertical sand delivery leg taped. Quart 1 1/4 inch pipe fitting. Type B horizontal sand delivery leg taped 1 1/4 inch pipe fitting. The type JA vertical sand delivery leg taped for 1 inch pipe fitting. Type J bolts directly sandbox 1 inch pipe fitting. Type KA same as JA except with no automatic cleaning 1 inch pipe fitting. And this is the maintenance instruction for your sanding equipment. Testing off.